ability of
You're
so,
recording?
not
Yeah.
yet. Oh, we are okay.
Yeah,
All right.
go ahead. Go ahead, Marvin. It's
Well,
cool.
just summing up that I'm not sure who. Oh, yes, Sampati was a bird, old and weak, but his eyes had not lost their keenness. He could see things very far off. He could see Sita captive in Lanka and described in detail the wealth of Ravana's kingdom. He saw and described how Sita sat surrounded by Rakshasas in Lanka. So the Vinaras were wild with joy. They jumped about, saying, "Now we know all about Sita. There's no need for us to die. Rama's purpose will be achieved." Um, so that's basically how the last chapter ended.
So why?
Sampati now shone with fresh beauty, and he found satisfaction in performing the funeral obsequies of Jatayu. That was the bird that died, trying to fight Ravana.
So continue reading there, Marvin,
Okay,
if you
next
don't
chapter.
mind. Yeah.
Son of Vayu. From Sampati, the Benares learned the place where Sita was kept a prisoner.
Oh
In
shit.
the
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Damn. Oh, there it goes. Okay, good.
From Sampati, the Benares learned the place where Sita was kept a prisoner. In the land of the Rakshasas, 100 yojanas crossed the ocean. But of course, it would not do to return to Sugriva at once with this second-hand information. They had outstayed the allotted time, and only outstanding success could save them from punishment. They could not stop their search till they saw with their own eyes what Sampati had described. Only then could they fulfill Rama's purpose. But then they had to cross the sea. They went to the edge of the water and discussed matters. How can we cross the sea, enter Lanka, see Sita, and return? Anxiety and fear overwhelmed them. Angada said, no matter how hard the task, one should never lose courage. Courage is the key to success. To lose heart is to lose everything. Then he asked each one of his followers to state truly the maximum length that he could jump. O Varana warriors, he said, much have I heard from Sugriva of your prowess. Your strength and your enterprise are beyond dispute. We should fulfill this task. We cannot return to Kishkinda without seeing Sita. That is certain. It is better for us to end our lives here than to be slain in disgrace by the king. Therefore, tell me, one by one, the longest jump you have the strength and courage to attempt. Gaja said modestly, I can jump 10 yojanas. Gavaksha said, I can do 20. Another Vanara leader claimed he could do 30. And
And
so each.
I was just going to interject that I believe a yojana is about 9 miles. One
Oh,
yojana.
all right, so 39.
So they're pretty good jumpers.
Yeah,
They can
Oh,
jump
so
100
we're
miles.
talking 300, 200, 100 miles.
definitely Olympics.
And so each improved on the figure of the other. At last, Jambaban, the oldest of the warriors, spoke. I am now old and infirm, yet I would gladly spend myself to fulfill our king's command. But what will mere devotion avail if not seconded by strength? I think I could manage 90 yojanas, but this is not enough to cross the sea and reach Lanka. I can only regret my lost youth. The Yuvaraja himself said, I can do 100 yojanas and reach Lanka. I have no doubt. But I wonder whether I shall have the strength for another jump of equal length for the return journey. Jambaban answered, O Prince, you need not doubt your strength. Your prowess is as great as Vali's. Yet it is not proper for the crown prince to undertake this task while there are others to do it under his orders. It is neither statesmanlike nor safe for a king to act directly. Then Jambavan cast an appraising and admiring look at Hanuman, who had also sat apart, listening to the talk, but saying nothing. I feel that the son of Vayu, sitting there in silence, is the one best fitted by strength and skill to do this deed, said the old Varana. Right? Said the old Varana, and walked up to Hanuman and brought him to their midst. Addressing Hanuman in the hearing of the myriads of gloomy Vanaras, Jabbavan said, O warrior, learned in all branches of knowledge, why are you sitting silent and apart? You are the equal of King Sugriva, are you not? In strength and splendor, do you not surpass all the rest of us? Why are you not the equal of Rama and Lakshmana themselves? Are you not the equal of Rama and Lakshmana themselves? I have seen Garuda, the king of birds, crossing the sea. The might of your shoulders is not less than that of Garuda's wings. You are not inferior to the son of Vinata in strength or speed, but you are not aware of your own prowess and intelligence. There is no equal to you in the whole world. Anjana, your mother, was a maiden among the goddesses above. By the curse of a rishi, she was born as a Vanari. One day, while she was wandering carefree on a mountain slope, Vayu saw her beauty and fell in love with her and embraced her. She was wroth. Who are you, O wicked one? She asked. Who dares insult me? The wind god answered, be not angry. Your body is not tainted by my touch and loses not its virgin purity. Not in body, but in my heart's desire did I embrace you. And out of this ethereal embrace, a child will be born to you, equal to me in strength and vigor. He will be the mightiest and most intelligent amongst the Varanas. Thus did the wind god pacify Anjana. When you were a little child, O Hanuman, you imagined the rising sun to be a fruit and flew towards it in order to pluck it. Seeing your effortless and fearless flight, Indra, king of the gods, became concerned for the sun's safety and hurled his thunderbolt at you. Struck down by it, you fell on a mountain and your right jaw was broken. Enraged by this, your father, the wind god, stopped the movements and stood still. All living creatures became breathless and felt strangled in the stillness. The gods begged Vayu to lay aside his anger and showered blessings on you. Brahma and Indra gave you boons. No weapon can slay you. Death can only come to you at your will and not otherwise. You are immortal, born of Anjana and begotten of the spirit of the wind god. You are equal to him in splendor, intelligence, and power. But for all your strength, you are virtuous and modest. You alone can help us to fulfill Rama's purpose. Crossing the sea is no hard task to you. This great army of Varanas, struggling in a sea of distress, you should rescue. You who can cross the sea should not leave your power unused. Increase your stature. You are the equal of Garuda. Once, too, I was strong like you and traversed the globe 21 times. At the churning of the ocean of milk, I fetched herbs from the four quarters at the bidding of the gods. But now I am old and weak. You are the sole hope of the Varanas. O son of Anjana, we beg you, noble one, with your heritage of divine strength, delay no further. Realize your true strength and spring forward like Trivikrama You can cross the sea at a single jump. Do it and end our troubles. The aged Jambavan thus praised Hanuman, reminded him of his strength, and roused his dormant courage. At once, Hanuman's form began to swell like the sea in high tide. Even as the Varanas were watching him, the son of Vayu grew in size. The radiance of his body filled Angada and his companions with wonder and joy. From now on, Hanuman is the hero of the Ramayana. The devotees of Vishnu lovingly call him the junior servant of Hari. The senior servant is Garuda, who is always with Vishnu in personal attendance. How the junior servant of Hari ended the grief of Sita, destroyed by the fire the city of Ravana, and returned to the Lord and told him, "Found I have Sita," we shall now proceed to relate. Reminded of his might by Jambavan, Hanuman was now determined to fulfill Rama's purpose, and with fervor he uttered his faith. May your words come true. Flying through the sky and alighting in Lanka, I shall see Janaki, I have no doubt. I shall return and bring you good news. To take the jump, I must press my foot hard against the earth. This hill may stand it, he said, and climbed up the Mahendra hill. There for a while he threw his whole strength into his foot and walked a few steps. The creatures in the hill could not endure it and came out. Standing on the hill, Hanuman looked at the sea and directed his yoga concentrated mind towards Lanka. He said to himself, I shall search and find Sita. I shall fly in the sky and cross the sea. With this resolve, he offered worship and prayer to Surya, Indra, Vayu, Brahma, and all creation. Then facing east, he made obeisance to his father, Vayu, and magnifying his frame still further, turned towards the south. He pressed the hill with his feet and struck it with his hands. At this impact, the flowers fell from the trees and covered the hill. Squeezed irresistibly by the pressure of his feet, the hill threw out springs of water, like the rut flowing down the cheeks of the elephant. Many-colored veins of ore burst out of the rock. From the caves, the beast emerged with panic-stricken cries. Hooded serpents emitting venom, bit the rock, and sparks flew out. The hair of Hanuman's body stood on end, and he roared and lashed his tail on the ground. He contracted his hind parts, held his breath, pressed down his feet, folded his ears, and stiffened his muscles. Then, with a roar of triumph, he rose into the sky and, like Garuda, flew with the speed of Rama's arrow. With the momentum of his speed, many trees were uprooted and followed in him a little way, showering down their flowers, and dropped one by one and dropped. One by one, the trees that followed Hanuman fell into the sea, like the mountains which of old were pursued by Indra and denuded of their wings. Covered with bright colored flowers, the sea shone like the sky with its stars. Hanuman's arms, with their outspread hands as he flew through the sky, appeared like two five-headed cobras. He seemed to swallow the sky as he flew forward. His eyes glistened like mountain forests on fire. His red nose shone like the evening sun. His huge frame spanned the sky like an enormous comet. The air roared as he sped fast. Beneath him, his shadow traveled like a ship on the sea. It looked as though by the clouds, it
Oh,
looked
you
as
skipped a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
huge mountains with wings was flying in the air, hidden at times by clouds and again emerging from them, he shone like the more sailing across the sea. The Gandhabars showered flowers. The Dervishes blessed him with courage, equal to every occasion, with foresight, skill, and resolution. Hanuman met and survived the trials on the way. Shooting up suddenly from the sea, a mighty mountain rose and stood in his way. Hanuman struck it with his chest, and the Mainaka mountain yielded, like a cloud struck by the wind. The mountain said, "My son, I am Mount Minaka. King Ocean bade me help Sri Rama, the descendant of the Sagar race. The ocean is an old friend of that race. In honor of that ancient association, stay here on me for a while. You will fulfill Ram's purpose all the better for the rest." When Indra struck with his thunder all the hills, I fled from his persecution and hid myself in the ocean and survived. The ocean gave me shelter, who gave me shelter, now bids me help you. The sons of Sagara dug and deepened the ocean. Did not your father Vayu help me to escape from Indra's thunderbolt and find sanctuary in the sea? Both the ocean and myself will be pleased if you accept my hospitality and rest here for a while. But Hanuman could not yield to Manaka's importunity and said politely, "I cannot stop, my friend. I have no time to lose. My vow to fulfill Rama's purpose permits no delay. Your kind words are enough to please me." He stroked the mountain affectionately with his hand and took its leave. Later, a huge form stood in his way and said, "Enter my mouth. I have been without food for a long time and are eagerly waiting for you." And the monster opened its mouth wide like a cave. Hanuman answered, "I am bent on doing Rama's purpose. Do not stop me." "Impossible," said the monster. "You must enter my mouth." Hanuman thought quickly and decided what to do. Step by step, he made his body grow bigger and bigger. The Rakshasa form, which had been assumed by Surasa, the Naga maiden, opened its mouth correspondingly wider and wider. When the mouth was thus enormously wide, all of a sudden Hanuman contracted his body into a speck, and darting through the demon's mouth and body, came out again and resumed his former normal shape. He then laughed and said, "You have had your wish, mother. I have entered your mouth. What more do you need?" And the Naga goddess blessed him, saying, "Your effort will be crowned with success. I did this at the bidding of the gods who wanted to test you. Rama's purpose, which you seek to serve, will assuredly triumph." This was not the last of his trials. As he was flying in the sky, for no reason which he could discover, he found his speed obstructed, and he suffered like a ship against a contrary wind. Some mighty force, he felt, was holding him and dragging him down. He looked up and down on all four sides. Then he discovered the cause. It was a huge she-demon in the sea, holding him by his shadow below, arresting his speed and dragging him down. The demon, holding him by his shadow, said, "Come, come, long have I been waiting for you. No longer can I bear my hunger." And she opened her mouth like a cave. At once Hanuman entered her mouth and ripped a way out through her entrails and emerged. The demon died and sank down in the water. Like the full moon emerging from an eclipse, Hanuman shone in the sky and resumed his journey. thus surviving many trials with the help of his subtle wit, courage, and strength. He flew across the ocean and approached the coast of Lanka, covered with plantain and coconut trees. On the shore of the island, he saw groves and mountains and forests and the mouths of rivers. Hanuman saw the wealth of Ravana's kingdom and the beauty of the fortified city. I have reached the destination, said Hanuman to himself. Now, without letting the Rakshasas know who or what I am, I must search the place and find out where Sita is kept. He reduced his huge form to the size of a normal monkey and alighted on a hilltop in Lanka. End of chapter. All right, why don't we have another reader?
Those were amazing descriptions.
Really?
That's something, yeah. Like,
And I love the power of holding on to a shadow to control it.
uh, and and the preamble for his leap was
Oh,
had
yes.
all
Into
that
the
description.
mountain. Absolutely.
Yeah.
and becoming a speck and going right through the body.
And then on the second monster, he ripped his way.
Yeah.
It was a clever one.
All right. Anyone like to pick up the reading here?
Mayor Kiran. Unmute.
Thank you. Yeah. 48. The Search in Lanka. Full of hope, Hanuman alighted and set foot in Lanka. But soon the flush of triumph at the accomplishment of the journey gave place to sober thinking. True, I have crossed the sea, but that is only the beginning of my mission. There, on Mount Trikuta, stands Ravana's magnificent city, as if suspended in the sky. How beautiful, how wealthy, how well secured it is. The city and the fortress are not inferior to Amravati or Bhagavati. The lovely groves, the elegant buildings, the engines of defense, deep moats, these fill me with much admiration, but also with greater concern. Who can attack and vanquish this Ravana? How can an army cross the sea that I have just crossed? Even if it crosses the sea and reaches this shore, how can it attack and bring down this fortress defended by bulwarks manned by well armed warriors? Neither guile nor force can bring it down. But first, I must find out whether Sita is alive or not. Other questions can wait. When and how can I best enter this well guarded city? I have to search it thoroughly if I am to discover the place where Sita is kept. If thoughtlessly I do enter the city by the day, it
Oh,
will be noticed.
you skipped a line or two. Go
If
back to
thoughtlessly I do something wrong now, this error would be irretrievable, and a great purpose would fail because of haste or negligence on my part. If I enter the city by day, it will be noticed by Rakshasas. It is best I go in at night. But in what shape shall I go? To ward off suspicion, I must put on a trivial, inconspicuous shape. Accordingly, he shrank to the size of a little monkey, no bigger than a cat. To enter and search the palaces and parks of the vast city, this would be most convenient. His present form was as much smaller than his usual size as the latter was than the mighty proportions he had assumed as he crossed the sea. By now the sun had set. The little Vanara walked towards the fortress gate. The moon shone brightly. Hanuman was glad and grateful for this help in his search. Even on a distant view, Hanuman wondered at the wealth and beauty displayed in Ravana's capital. The streets and mansions were bright with flags and festoons and glittered with gold and precious gems. The breeze blew gently from the sea, like Indra's Amravati and Kubera's Alkapuri. Ravana's capital had attained the peak of prosperity. The messenger of Rama was filled with wonder and anxiety how to overcome the master of such wealth and military power. As he was walking along in amazement and anxiety, he was rudely accosted by the terrible looking guardian goddess of the city. Who are you, little monkey? How did you manage to come here? And why are you here at all? Speak the truth. Yes, I am indeed a little monkey, and I have come here to look at the beautiful city. Shall go back after I have gone round and seen everything and satisfied my curiosity. The deity struck an angry blow at the monkey. Hanuman returned the blow carelessly with his left hand. It doubled her up and with agony on the ground.
Whoops. Sorry. Whoops. Let's see. Okay.
But soon she got up and remembered the prophecy that when a monkey should strike and throw her down, the city she guarded would be destroyed. She said to herself, Ravana's sins are many and grievous. The end of Lanka is approaching. The word of the gods is about to be fulfilled. And she stood aside. The goddess of Lanka and not a servant of Ravana, she was the spirit of the city. Hanuman climbed over the wall and jumped into the city. It was part of the ancient code of warfare that one should not enter the enemy's fortress through the regular gate, but should make his entry of the way manner. In an out of the way manner. Knowing that the Rakshasas should be destroyed, he entered the fortress of Lanka with his left foot foremost, for that meant defeat for the enemy. He went along the royal street that was strewn with beautiful flowers, like lightning shining through the clouds. The buildings shone against the sky. Clambering up the mansions and going along on their roofs, he admired the beauty of the city. The Rakshasa mansions and streets and their decorations shone with ineffable beauty. The sounds of cultivated and correct music were heard. Lovely women moved about to the accompaniment of tinkling anklets. The city was filled with sound, indicating a full and joyous life. In some houses, mantras were being chanted, in some others, Vedic chants were heard. In others, songs celebrated the heroic exploits and glory of Ravana were being sung. Soldiers and scouts were everywhere. In the streets were people dedicated to particular religious practices and vows. There were other cruel in looks and ugly. They there were others cruel in looks and ugly. The gods were armed with bows, swords, khadgas, slings, lances, and other weapons. All the warriors were clad in armor. Some were handsome, some ugly. Complexions varied from fair through brown to black. Some figures were very tall, others were short. Thus Hanuman saw that the population had been drawn from a wide area with varying climates and that the army had been recruited from the pick of many nations. He examined mansion after mansion. He saw women of exquisite beauty, some of them in the company of their husbands, and others by themselves. He saw many young damsels, bright and beautiful, like images of molten gold. Some were seated on the terraces, others were sleeping in their beds. Some were playing, others singing. Innumerable beautiful women he saw, but not Sita, pinning for Rama. The sight of so much beauty only filled Hanuman's heart with disappointment and sadness. He entered the he entered and examined the homes of many Rakshasas. There were war elephants, purebred horses, chariots, and armories. Soldiers stood fully armed. After passing through many mansions and gardens filled with merriment and music, he came to a great palace rising aloft in the nobility of splendor, far transcending all the magnificent buildings around. Looking at the elephants, horses, and foot soldiers in front, the high wall surrounding it, and the beauty of its structure and the richness of its decorations, he concluded that this was Ravana's own palace, the central glory of splendid Lanka. He entered the palace. It was in every way heaven on earth, worthy of Ravana's peerless power and glory. The park, the birds sporting there, the shrines scattered here and there, filled Hanuman with wonder. He said to himself, "What wealth, what beauty, and what bliss!" He was for a while lost in amazement. But soon he recollected that he had not yet found Sita. Admiration gave place to concern over the yet unfulfilled purpose for which he had come. Passing through many mansions, he entered the innermost private apartment of Ravana and was almost overcome with the luxury and richness of its apartments, which made it look a very abode of the gods. Everywhere was gold and silver, ivory and gems and pearls and beautiful carpets and furniture, and in their midst he saw the Pushpaka Vimana. It was a magic vehicle obtained from Brahma by Kubera. Vanquishing Kubera, Ravana brought it to Lanka as his booty. As from Vasishta's cow, in the Pushpaka car one could get anything one desired. Ravana's chamber, which Hanuman now entered, was a very ocean of delight. Countless lovely women lay sleeping in the spacious chamber, some linked arm in arm, and all in undress and the careless attitudes of sleep, making the place look like a garden of bright flower-laden creepers. With his spirit controlled by Dharma, Hanuman now entered was a very Hanuman looked at all these sleeping women, each more beautiful than the other, and all filled with joy and love, to see if any of them could be Sita. Ravana's power to take what shape he would and to please all women was evident from the sight of this lovely woman. Hanuman pulled himself together reproachfully at his own folly in supposing for a moment Sita could be in that sensual paradise of happy damsels. It is certain that Sita is not in this cup. What a fool am I to search for her in this company. This is no place for her. Then he went elsewhere. In another chamber, he saw many beds. He saw one more gorgeous than the rest, covered with gold and diamonds, and Ravana statue on it, like another Mount Meru. His form and majestic splendor made even Hanuman tremble for it moment. For it moment. He stood on one side and scanned the sleeping figure, unable for a time to take his eyes off the majestic and virile beauty of that mighty form, the great muscles, now in response, the symmetrical grace of limbs which made the Rakshasa king at once beautiful and terrible. Then Hanuman looked at the women in the beds around and on the carpets. Some who had fallen asleep were singing, were still hugging their musical instruments. His eyes finally fell on a figure lying on a divinely beautiful cot. The shapeliness of her limbs and the beauty of her features made Hanuman imagine it might be Sita. He leaped up with joy. The next instant, he cursed himself for his folly. Fee, fee, he said to himself, how foolish have I been! Could Sita sleep thus carelessly covered with jewels in a stranger's chamber? The very thought is a sin, and he was overwhelmed with shame and sorrow at that error. Then he said to himself, because she would not yield to him, this Rakshasa must have killed her. What use is there in continuing the search? He had now searched the inner apartments of Ravana's palace, the bedroom, the dining room, the hall of drink, the music room, all places had been searched and Sita was nowhere found. I have entered every nook and corner against all the rules of propriety. I have been I have even looked at every one in the women's chambers, but all in vain. Saying this, he left the hall of drink and went to the garden and looked into the little shrines and the arbors made of creepers, but all was in vain. I have seen all of Lanka, he thought, with irrepressible grief. I have seen even inch of Ravana's palace. I have seen every inch of Ravana's palace. What more could I do here? Am I to return without seeing Sita? No, I shall rather end my life here. Yes, that is the only thing for me to do. But again he said to himself, fee, fee on me for yielding to such despondency, unworthy and dishonorable. He sprang up again and searched once again every inch of the palace, every inch of the places he had been through. He opened every door and window and looked in. There were ugly women, beautiful women, and Naga maidens, all captured with a Rakshasa, but not Sita. Once again his heart sank. He did not know what to do. He said to himself, if I return to Kishkinda failing in my mission, with what face shall I meet my friends? If Rama loses all hopes of recovering Sita, what would happen to him? He would surely die. After that, what would happen to others? Instead of going back to Sugriva and telling him that all my labors have been wasted, it would be far better to stay here and spend the rest of my days in the forest and seashore of Lanka. But why live on? Is it not best to end my life? But then was Sampati wrong in saying that Sita was in Lanka? Or has she been killed by Rakshasa since Sampati sighted her in this island? She might well have been devoured by the Rakshasis. Nothing is clear. Everything is enveloped in doubt. What shall I do? Thus was Hanuman, lost in anxiety and thought. Just then his eyes lightened on what he had so far left unexplored. A park attached to a shrine and surrounded by high walls. Oh, here is a park I have not seen or searched so far. Here surely I shall find Sita. With these words, as the son of Vayu meditated on Rama, hope sprang within his breast. The secluded park was well protected by high walls. Yes, Sita must be here, he said to himself. Again he bowed to the gods. He jumped up and sat on the wall of the Ashoka Vana and surveyed the beautiful park.
Okay, end of chapter. Thank you, Mayhem. Why don't we continue? Diana, would you like to read?
Sure, I'll take over. I think we're going to find her here.
Thanks.
Sita in the Ashoka Park. As Hanuman stood on the high wall, he did not know why a thrill of joy passed through his frame. It was the invisible atmosphere which envelops an accomplished mission and influences subtly the devoted heart. As he had at last reached the spot where Sita was, his whole being throbbed with exulting expectation without any apparent reason. It was an early spring night. Trees and plants were in flowers. Hanuman jumped to a place where there was a thick cluster of trees. This disturbed the birds that rested there, and they flew out with sweet noises. Deer and other animals moved about. Flowers dropped from the branches and covered the body of Hanuman. The creatures in the park, looking at the lovely figure of Hanuman covered all over with flowers, thought that the god of spring was visiting the grove in the early dawn. The garden was entrancingly beautiful. Lovely tanks, terraces decorated with gold, silver, ivory, pearl, and coral, crystal steps, artificial hills, and waterfalls. The sight filled Hanuman's heart with joy. Around some trees were platforms overlaid with gold and silver. Little bells suspended from the trees made music in the breeze. Hanuman climbed up and sat hidden among the leaves of a tall, spreading tree with a golden platform around its stem. If she be alive and in Lanka, said Hanuman to himself, Sita would surely visit this garden. She would choose this place above all others for solitude and contemplation of Rama. They said, did they not, that she loved groves and trees? She would surely come here at dawn to offer worship to the Universal Mother. He gazed all around, hiding himself among the leaves. He sat on a branch and looked below. He beheld a female figure seated on that platform, blindingly beautiful and divinely pure. Thin and pale, she shone like the streak of the moon in the beginning of the bright half of the moon, in the beginning bright half of the month. Her beauty glowed fitfully through the deepest dejection, like flame through enveloping smoke. Wrapped in a soiled upper garment, she resembled a lovely lotus obscured by miry moss. Her face was bathed in tears, and she was wan and thin for want of food. She had no thoughts but of sorrow, no glimpse of friends or hope. There were only Rakshasis wherever she turned her eyes, and she felt like a doe who had lost its herd and found itself beset by a pack of wild dogs. A single snake-like braid of hair wandered unregarded down to her hip. She seemed to Hanuman at once adorable and pitiful, like the holy word torn from its context by infidels, like prosperity sunk in unmerited ruin, like shattered hope and faith betrayed, like frustrated fulfillment, like intellect muddled by insanity, like blameless purity besmirched by foul slander. Hanuman said to himself with conviction, this image of beautiful despair is surely Sita. For behold, hanging unregarded on the branches of the tree are the jewels described by Rama as having been on her when she was carried away, all except those which she dropped during the flight and which were picked up by us on the hill. And see, the scarf she wears, though soiled and crumpled, is the fellow to the one we found. Surely this sublimely beautiful lady who seems like one steadfast in true love in a tempest-tossed sea of troubles, is Rama's beloved queen. It is for her that Rama is consumed by a threefold agony: grief for her suffering, wrath for the insult to her, and heartbroken pangs at separation from her. Surely he is ever in her heart, and she in his, and in truth they are not parted, or they could not live. And as he continued to see her, his heart leapt back across the ocean and sought Rama's feet in adoration. And again he looked at Sita and said to himself, it was for the sake of this divine lady that the mighty Vali, the peer of Ravana in prowess, was slain. For her that Kabanda and Virata met their death, and 14,000 fierce Rakshasas with Kara, Dushana, Trisiras, crimsoned with their gore the glades of Janasthana. It is for her that the splendid sovereignty of the Vanaras was wrested from the heroic Vali and given to Sugriva. It is to her service that I crossed the sea, the Lord of rivers, and am now here in Lanka. All this seems much, but verily, if for her sake Rama should transform or even destroy the universe, I would say from my soul, it is well done. She is worth it all and more. And again Hanuman's heart crossed the sea back and dwelt on Rama far away. Just then, as on the clear surface of a lake a swan might glide, so in the blue sky the moon swam into sight and shone brightly as if on purpose to help the son of Vayu. Peering between the leaves and not knowing what to do, Hanuman took another long look at the face of Sita, a face that disclosed a sea of care like a heavily laden ship caught in a storm. The Rakshasis who guarded her were intolerably ugly. One had only one eye, another only one ear. Some were without ears, and some without noses. Some had noses turned steeply upward. Some were bald, while some had done their hair in grotesque styles. Some had pendant stomachs, and some had camel's lips. Some were hunchbacks, some were dwarfs, and some tall like palmyra trees. Swine face, tiger face, buffalo face, goat face, all were to be seen. These unsightly creatures were holding their spears and other weapons in their hands. And in their midst, the pale-faced princess sat trembling, befriended only by her virtue, like an unsupported, beautiful creeper fallen on the ground. It was still dark and not yet dawn. Ravana was roused from his slumber by the chanting of the Vedas and the morning songs of the court bards. The moment he awoke, he thought of Sita and started towards the park where she was kept. With all his retinue, he entered the palace park, accompanied by scented torches and the royal umbrella, surrounded by maidens covered all over with brilliant ornaments and clad in spotless white clothes. Ravana appeared charming like another Manmatha. As the procession entered the gate, Hanuman could hear the noise of the crowd and the tinkling of women's anklets. Soon he saw the Rakshasa king approaching. At once, Hanuman hid himself more effectively than before among thick leaves. As Ravana came toward Sita, his strength and splendor were wonderful to behold. At this sight, Sita's body shrank and trembled like a plantain tree in a storm. As one reads or listens to this sacred story, one should form a mental image of Sita in her present state. One can imagine the agony of despair of any good woman who has by misfortune fallen into the power of a lustful man. What must be the state of Sita, daughter of Janaka and wife of Ramachandra, in such a predicament? To appreciate Valmiki's metaphors and similes in this context, one should purify one's heart and fire it with piety. One feels unequal to rendering into another language the beautiful similes by which Valmiki illustrates her condition. Only a few are cited here to give some idea of them. Ravana approached Sita still in the hope of obtaining her consent. Sita was covered with dust and had no jewels on her person, but she shone as if wearing all the jewels that a princess must wear. She looked like a beautiful tree felled down and lying low. Her face was covered by light and shadow, like a lotus flower stained by mire. She swayed like a cobra bound by charms. Her state was like one surrounded by raging fires on all four sides, like an army which had lost its chief warriors, like a river which had run dry, like a vessel for sacrificial fire that suffered desecration, like a lovely lotus tank destroyed by elephants, like a flowering creeper uprooted and cast aside, like a cow elephant separated from the leader of the herd, captured and tied as a prisoner. Sita sat trembling, overwhelmed with grief and fear. When she perceived Ravana's approach, that very instant her heart traveled to Rama like a chariot drawn by swift steeds. With faded face and wasted form, she thought of her protectors far away. When will they come? Will they ever come? She asked herself and meditated on God. Ravana approached and spoke to her. Hidden in the branches of the tree, Hanuman watched what went on below.
All right. Let's see. I don't know. It's 11:30. Do we want to maybe read one more chapter?
Betty has been waiting patiently.
Yeah, I was thinking of asking her if she wants to read.
If we want to stay, okay.
Yeah, let's go. It's not a long one. Let's read one more chapter and we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Ravana's solicitation. To Sita, oh dear, sorry. To Sita, plunged in a sea of sorrow and clinging to Dharma and to the thought of her Lord, Ravana spoke these words.
Excuse me. I think we have some, according to the book, we have a different chapter.
Oh, okay.
Notice this says chapter 50.
Yes.
And in the book, we're ready for chapter 47. So I'm
Wow.
wondering what's happening.
My book has the same as we see on the screen.
And mine doesn't.
That's a big difference. 3 chapters different.
Well, we already read 27. What's the name of that chapter?
Mine says Son of Vayu. Yes, we read that.
Yeah, that's where we started. So your book's a little out of order.
Wait. Oh, I'm totally mistaken. I apologize for the interruption. I was looking in the wrong place.
Apology accepted.
Thank you.
All right. 50. Ravana's solicitation. To Sita, plunged in a sea of sorrow and clinging to Dharma and to the thought of her Lord, Ravana spoke these words. O beautiful one, why do you shrink from me? Do you not see how much I care for you? Though it is lawful for a Rakshasa to take another's wife and possess her by force, I am a beggar for your love. There is no need to fear me. I shall never touch you till your heart turns toward me. Do not be afraid. My one wish is that you should care for me as I do for you. You must accept me with affection. Why do you make your body a prey to unavailing sorrow? O beautiful one, there is none like you in loveliness, none in all the world. It is not right for you to reject beautiful jewels and clothes, to sleep on the ground and leave your hair unkempt. O gem among women, under my protection you should not lack nothing.
Oh, you skipped
Wait,
a line.
missed the line.
Let's see.
Leave your hair unkempt.
O gem among women, do not thus waste your youth and beauty. Now you have come under my protection. You should lack nothing. All pleasures are suitors for your selection. I cannot take my eyes away from you, your face bright like the full moon. Wherever on your body I set my eyes, there they remain fixed and immovable. Why should one with so much beauty suffer so much sorrow? Accept me and enjoy all the pleasures of the world. I will conquer the world and give it to Janaka for your sake. What will I not do for you? You will be my sovereign consort. All the queens and women in the palace will be ruled by you. My wealth, my kingdom, all shall be yours to enjoy. Lanka and myself, why, the whole earth shall belong to you. My strength and courage are known to the Devas and Asuras. Vanquished by me, they stand with bowed heads. With jewels and garments fit for you, my handmaidens will adorn you. I long to see you splendidly decked, and you will be free to give away generous gifts in charity. Your authority will extend over all mankind. My subjects and kinsfolks will deem it a joy to serve you. Why do you waste your thoughts on wretched Rama, wandering in the forest? How can you how can you trust one who has been deprived of his rights and driven out of his kingdom and is roaming about clad in bark garments? What can this helpless fellow do? The goddess of wealth, she that presides over power, and she who rules over success, have all abandoned him, and you know it. It is even doubtful whether he is alive today. Anyhow, you may take it, he will never set eyes on you again, much less come near you. Like Garuda seizing a serpent, you have captivated my heart. I am unable to escape. Even in your present state, devoid of jewels or good clothes, you have drawn me away from my other wives. What can I do now? In my apartments are innumerable lovely women, but after seeing you, I can bear the sight of none of them. You will be queen over all of them and receive their humble service. In what sense can Rama equal me? Do you not see that in severe austerities gone through, in strength, wealth, and glory, in every way, I am superior to him? Shake off your fear. We shall wander over the whole world, happy in each other's company. With me, you will enjoy limitless wealth and pleasure. Life will be one continuous joy. O beautiful one, have pity on me. Let us sport together in the parks and groves by the sea. Only say yes. Thus Ravana uttered his impassionate appeal for love and pity. When Ravana had finished speaking, Sita plucked a little blade of grass and, placing it between them, laughed in derision and gently spoke. Ravana, lay aside all such vain thoughts concerning me. It is altogether improper for you to desire me. Turn your heart to your wives. Never can I agree to what you say. Think of the family I was born in. Think of the family I was married into. How can you ever hope to persuade me? Do not give room for such foolish and impossible desires, and make sorrow for yourself. Then she turned her face away and continued, How can I become your wife when I am the wife of another? Do not violate Dharma. Do not tread the path of sin. Listen to me. Think how carefully you watch over your wives and keep them safe from the touch of others. Would not other husbands do the same by their wives? Remember, other men are like you. Do not cast your eyes on another's wife. To be happy with your own is the way of true happiness. But if you allow your mind to dwell on another's wife, sorrow and dishonor will be your portion. Is there none in the world to advise you aright? Why do you do evil and bring destruction on yourself and on your people? When a king loses self-control, his kingdom and wealth will all be destroyed. Be sure this Lanka and its great wealth will be utterly destroyed if you persist in your sin, and the foes whom you have conquered and humiliated will rejoice. I have no use for the wealth and the pleasures that you promise. They do not tempt me. I have married Rama, and I cannot take my mind and heart away from him. I who held his hand can never touch another. Never. I am his. The prince's, entirely and forever. I belong to him, as the Veda belongs to one who has reverently mastered it. It is not right for anyone else to look on me with longing eyes. Listen to me who speaks for your good. Beg Rama humbly for forgiveness and escape from his anger. Do not go in search of your own ruin. Rama is generous and will surely forgive you if you seek his mercy. Seek forgiveness and safety. Do not seek death and destruction. There I hear even now the twang of Rama's bow. You cannot escape. Yama stands very near, ready to carry you away. The arrows of Rama and Lakshmana will soon be here in Lanka, and your city will be in flames. Did not Rama utterly destroy the Rakshasas at Janasthana? Did you not, knowing his strength, come like a thief to our hut when Rama and Lakshmana were away to steal me? Can you for a moment stand before them face to face? Can a dog approach a tiger? Will it not flee from the very scent? As the sun sucks up moisture from the wet earth, Rama and Lakshmana will drink your life. Will you run to hide yourself among the mountains? Will you try to escape under the sea? Even then, as at the appointed hour the tree is struck by lightning, so will you perish at their hands. You cannot escape. Thus Sita ended with a stern warning. Ravana controlled his anger and spoke.
Whoops.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Let's see, where is he? There. O Sita, doting on this spurious ascetic Rama, you talk foolishly and repay my loving words with insult and contumely. Because of my love for you, I have refrained, else you would be dead by now. Of the time I had allowed you, 2 months more remain. Change your mind before they pass. Be my wife and come to my bed. If you refuse, you will be sent to my kitchen and cooked for my meal. Beware! It was well known that the food of the Rakshasas included human flesh. Hence, this threat of Ravana was no exaggeration, but conveyed a clear possibility. Yet Sita was afraid and answered, Alas, alas, is there none to give you good advice? Have you no friend to save you from this sin and put you on the path of virtue? You cannot escape Rama's punishment. Like a rabbit antagonizing a wild elephant, you have incurred the wrath of Rama. O wretch who stole me in his absence, are you not ashamed? Your destruction is certain. Your evil fate has driven you to this act. And yet you are the brother of Kubera. You are famous as a warrior. You are the master of a complete four-limbed army. Why should you do this mean deed in this mean way? Ravana's eyes rolled in anger, and he looked fiercely at Sita, hissing like a snake. Seeing his mounting anger, one of his young wives, Danyamali, walked up to his side and, embracing him, said, King, why do you vex yourself over this mean human creature who does not seem to care for you? She has not the good fortune to be your wife, that is all. And what is there so attractive about her? Why do you waste your thoughts on this puny creature? Come away, let us enjoy ourselves. She drew him away affectionately, and the Rakshasa went with her laughing. Before he went, Ravana ordered the Rakshasis who guarded Sita to bring her round somehow, and with resounding steps left the Asoka Park, followed by his retinue. As he turned his back, the Rakshasis surrounded Sita. The princess, who had been bold up till now, trembled when she looked at these ugly creatures that began speaking to her. When Ravana, scion of a noble family, a world-famous warrior, desires you, said one, how can you refuse him? Oh, foolish girl, who do you think Ravana is? Know that he is a direct descendant of Brahma. He is the grandson of Pulastya. Prajapati, son of Brahma, a hero who has won many battles and vanquished many foes. How foolish to slight him! Let not pride ruin you, said another. Ravana is the son of Rishi Visravas. Do not think he is a nobody. Accept him and be happy. The king of the Rakshasas, who defeated in battle and put to flight the gods of heaven, invites you to be his wife, said another. You must yield, poor girl, or you must die. Citing all his other wives, said another.
Sliding.
Oh, sliding. Sliding is what I see there. Is that
Yes.
sliding all his other wives, said another. Ravana wants you and promises to make you chief among his queens. Forsaking all his noble wives, the king, bewitched by your beauty, begs for your love and offers to make you first among his consorts. Why are you foolishly obstinate? None in all the world can equal Lord Ravana, said another. Good fortune comes seeking you, and you spurn it. How foolish! The sun and the wind gods are afraid of the Rakshasa king, and he comes seeking you and wants to make you his favorite wife. Do not let your pride betray you. Do not reject the fortune that comes to you unsought. And another concluded, we have given you good advice. We have done our best, and we leave the rest to you. If you reject his offer, you must surely die. Oh my.
Okay, I think we'll conclude the reading for today. Any comments?
It sure we speak different.
We should stop the recording too.